The tech world is facing a major shift, and this time the shock is not coming from Apple, Samsung, or Google. It is coming from Nvidia, the company that powers almost every AI model, every advanced data center, and every breakthrough in modern computing. Several leaks inside the United States, including reports from engineers and suppliers, claim that Nvidia is preparing something the smartphone industry has never seen before. They call it the NeoPhone, and many specialists believe this device could challenge the iPhone in a way no company has managed in the past 17 years. Most companies that tried to compete with Apple focused on design, battery life, or camera quality. Some offered better zoom, others offered bigger screens. But the iPhone survived every challenge because none of these companies touched the foundation of Apple's strategy. Apple always kept full control over the system. The apps, the cloud, the services, and the entire ecosystem were tied together in a way that forced the user to stay inside Apple's world. But this time, things are different. The NeoPhone does not try to copy the iPhone. It tries to replace the idea behind it. According to people familiar with the early prototypes, Nvidia is building a smartphone around a mobile version of its strongest AI chips. These are not normal smartphone processors that focus on animations or basic AI features. These chips are based on the same architecture that runs massive AI models in data centers. They are built to handle large language models directly on the device. This means the NeoPhone could become the first smartphone that runs GPT-class tasks fully offline. No cloud servers, no waiting for a connection, no sending data to Apple or any other company. For Apple, this is the worst situation because the company has been following a different path. Apple uses partly local and partly cloud-based AI. The simple tasks happen on the device, but the powerful tasks, like advanced reasoning or complex generation, happen on Apple's servers. This gives Apple more control, but limits what the phone can do by itself. Nvidia is doing the opposite. It wants the NeoPhone to think, learn, and generate content fully on its own without touching a cloud. This is where the problem becomes bigger for Apple. The iPhone was always presented as the center of your digital life. Your photos live on iCloud. Your messages sync through Apple servers. Your backups depend on the Apple ecosystem. Your recommendations come from Apple's data centers. Everything runs through the cloud. But if Nvidia gives people a phone that does not need the cloud, then Apple's biggest strength becomes its biggest weakness. The NeoPhone does not want to be the center of an ecosystem, it wants to be the brain. Several experts believe the NeoPhone will work as an autonomous digital intelligence that operates every hour of the day. It can learn from its owner, create patterns, analyze behavior, understand context, generate images and videos, and respond instantly with no need for internet. It becomes a personal AI engine living inside your pocket. This idea directly challenges Apple's model, where the phone is beautiful, powerful, and controlled, but always dependent on Apple's servers for deeper intelligence. If the NeoPhone works as insiders claim, then users will not need Apple Photos, Apple Mail, iCloud suggestions, or cloud storage. The phone itself will run advanced AI tasks and deliver results faster. It will create content, automate tasks, and understand the user more deeply than Apple's cloud system does today. This creates what many US analysts are calling a paradigm break. For the first time in almost 2 decades, a device is competing not with the iPhone's hardware, but with the philosophy behind the iPhone. What makes the situation worse for Apple is the expected price. Leaks claim that Nvidia may release the NeoPhone at a price equal to or even lower than the current iPhone models. Apple cannot match Nvidia's AI power without redesigning its entire architecture. Apple's A-series chips are excellent for efficiency and graphics, but they are not built for heavy model training. Nvidia's chips, even in mobile form, are designed for full AI workloads. Nvidia can afford an aggressive pricing strategy because its GPU business already generates huge profits. Apple cannot move quickly without breaking its closed system. Another major concern for Apple comes from Nvidia's future expansion. Reports suggest that Nvidia does not want to stop at smartphones. The company is already discussing a full family of personal AI devices. This includes mobile workstations, tablets, laptops, mixed reality headsets, and portable computing modules that work offline. Each device would have its own intelligence, not depend on a cloud or a parent device like the iPhone. Apple tried for years to enter these markets, but its products always return to the same idea. They depend on the iPhone, iCloud, and Apple servers. If Nvidia creates an ecosystem where every device carries its own AI brain, then Apple's ecosystem model becomes outdated. For decades, the iPhone has been the main device, and everything else has been an extension. Nvidia could flip that structure. In the Nvidia ecosystem, all devices become independent. They work together, but they do not rely on each other. They think for themselves. This is the architecture of the future, and it is something Apple cannot switch to quickly without destroying its current infrastructure. Many analysts believe this is the first time the iPhone faces a competitor that is not limited by the rules of the mobile industry. Nvidia does not need to sell 100 million units. It does not depend on low-cost supply chains. It does not need to worry about breaking an old processor line. Nvidia can aim directly at the next stage of personal computing without carrying old baggage. This gives the company freedom to do something that Apple cannot. It can design a phone for the next 10 years, not for the next iOS update. The biggest philosophical difference is how both companies see the user. Apple sees the user as part of an ecosystem. Their data flows into the system, and the system gives back suggestions and services. Nvidia sees the user as the owner of a personal computational core. The device belongs to the user, not the company, and the intelligence stays inside the device, not on a server. This idea is very attractive to young audiences. They do not want a pretty shell or convenient syncing. They want real computing power. They want tools that save time, generate content, organize life, and automate work. They want something beyond the traditional smartphone. That is why the NeoPhone is getting attention even before its official announcement. It seems to give something that users never got from the iPhone: true technological independence. Several experts already say that if Nvidia really releases the NeoPhone in the way insiders describe, then Apple may shift into the position of a follower for the first time in 20 years. Nvidia could change what people expect from a smartphone. It could move the world from cloud-dependent intelligence to personal, offline intelligence. And if the NeoPhone becomes successful, Nvidia can expand into every part of personal computing, including laptops, headsets, smart home devices, and portable workstations. This battle will not be about cameras or screens. It will be about who defines the next generation of personal computing. Apple built the world of controlled ecosystems. Nvidia is trying to build a world of autonomous intelligence. If Nvidia succeeds, the iPhone may no longer be the leading symbol of innovation. It may become a product of an older era. The NeoPhone could mark the beginning of a new chapter where the most powerful AI engine is not on a server or in the cloud, but directly in your hand. If this happens, the smartphone market will change forever. Apple will need to rebuild its strategy. Samsung and Huawei will need to rethink their approach. And Nvidia will step into a space it has never entered before. The future of personal computing may no longer be decided by traditional smartphone makers, but by companies that lead the world in AI. And for Apple, this could be the most serious challenge in its modern history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more simple tech explanations, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps a lot.